Your morning determines everything. You wake up groggy, hit snooze 3 times, drag yourself out of bed already defeated. Rush through chaos, checking emails that stress you out, eating garbage while scrolling feeds that make you feel inadequate, leaving house already behind schedule and reactive. By 9 a.m., you've been awake 3 hours, but accomplished nothing except confirming you're unprepared for day ahead. You're not starting at peak performance, you're starting at survival mode. That's not morning routine, that's morning surrender, where you've already lost before day begins. Peak performers don't stumble into greatness. They engineer it through precise morning habits that put them in optimal state before facing world. Miyamoto Musashi woke before dawn every day for 40 years and executed specific sequence that put him at peak performance while opponents were still sleeping. He didn't leave morning to chance or mood. 7 non-negotiable habits created perfect physiological and psychological state for whatever challenges day brought. Wake at consistent time, establishing circadian dominance. Immediate movement shocking body into alertness. Strategic nutrition, optimizing cognitive function. Mental battle planning before physical battle began. Ritualized decision elimination, preserving willpower. Weakness training during peak hours. Silence, creating mental clarity before chaos. This wasn't self-care, this was combat preparation. By time most people woke up, Musashi had already won the day through superior preparation. Modern world teaches morning routine is luxury for people with extra time, completely backwards. Morning habits are necessity for people who want to perform at peak instead of operating at fraction of capacity. First, 90 minutes after waking, determine physiological state for remaining 14 waking hours. Get those 90 minutes right and you have energy, focus and mental clarity carrying you through challenges. Get them wrong and you're sluggish, distracted and mentally foggy all day trying to catch up. In next 10 topics, you get 7 samurai habits creating peak performance state, implementation protocol installing them systematically, maintenance system sustaining them permanently, and secret timing principle multiplying their effectiveness. Topics 1 through 7 break down each habit. Topics 8 through 10 give you complete system. Master these 7 habits and every morning becomes launching pad for peak performance day. First habit establishes psychological dominance before day officially starts. Habit 1. Wake before your competition. Establish dominance. First samurai habit is waking before your competition establishes psychological dominance and strategic time advantage. Not waking when convenient, waking when world is still dark and quiet. Musashi woke at 4 a.m. daily when other warriors were sleeping. Those pre-dawn hours gave him uninterrupted time to prepare while competitors were unconscious. Modern application. Wake at 5 a.m. consistently, giving you 2 to 3 hour advantage over average person who wakes at 7 or 8 a.m. That advantage compounds. While they're hitting snooze, you're already training. While they're scrolling phone groggy, you're already planning. While they're rushing through chaos, you've already completed most important work. By time they're starting day, you've already won it through superior preparation. Why does waking early create peak performance when sleeping late feels better temporarily? Because cortisol awakening response peaks naturally 30 to 45 minutes after waking, creating natural energy surge you can harness for productive activity or waste lying in bed. Early wakers capture this surge during focused work. Late wakers waste it during commute or reactive email checking. Additionally, early morning has 0 interruptions because nobody else is awake. No calls, no meetings, no urgent requests from others. That uninterrupted focus time is when you accomplish deep work that creates actual results. Third benefit, psychological win. Waking early when you don't want to proves you control yourself instead of impulses controlling you. That victory before 5:01 a.m. sets tone for discipline all day. Every subsequent challenge feels easier because you already proved your willpower works. Implementation requires absolute consistency. Choose wake time between 4 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. based on when you need to be at work or obligations. Set alarm across rooms so you must physically stand to turn it off. When alarm sounds, use 5,4, 3.2 per 1 countdown, then move immediately. No negotiation, no checking time, no, just 5 more minutes. Stand up, turn on bright lights, splash cold water on face. First 3 days are brutal. Day 4 through 7 get easier. After 2 weeks, body adapts. After 30 days, you wake naturally before alarm. That consistency is foundation everything else builds on. You can't have peak performance starting day defeated by snooze button. Next habit ensures you shift from rest mode to performance mode immediately. Habit 2, move before you think. Override hesitation. Second samurai habit is moving your body within 5 minutes of waking before mind generates resistance. Not eventually after coffee, within 5 minutes. Your body is in parasympathetic rest state. You need immediate shift to sympathetic alert state. Musashi started every morning with intense sword practice in freezing conditions, shocking his system awake. Modern application: within 5 minutes of standing, execute high-intensity movement for 5 to 10 minutes. Cold shower, sprint, burpees, jump rope, anything elevating heart rate significantly and rapidly. This isn't warm-up exercise. This is physiological activation triggering cascade of performance-enhancing responses. Heart rate elevation signals body that action is required now, not later. Adrenaline release creates natural energy without caffeine. Endorphin release improves mood state. Core temperature increase enhances cognitive function. Why move before thinking? Because thinking before moving gives brain time to generate excuses. I'm too tired, maybe I'll exercise after breakfast. After never comes because decision fatigue accumulates throughout day. Moving immediately uses momentum of standing to carry you straight into action before resistance builds. Additionally, immediate movement prevents phone checking that destroys morning potential. Most people wake up, immediately check phone, spend 30 minutes in reactive mode responding to everyone else's agenda. You wake up, immediately move, spend first 30 minutes in proactive mode, executing your agenda. That shift from reactive to proactive is difference between peak performance and mediocre survival. Musashi understood this intuitively. Hesitation kills momentum. Immediate action creates momentum that carries through entire day. Implementation is non-negotiable protocol. Lay out workout clothes next to bed before sleep. When you wake and stand, put them on immediately. No bathroom first, no checking anything, clothes on body. Then execute predetermined movement protocol. Example: 20 burpees, 30 jumping jacks, 20 push-ups, 30 squats, repeat 3 times. Take 7 minutes, elevates heart rate dramatically. Or cold shower, 3 minutes, completely cold water. First 30 seconds shock, next 90 seconds adaptation, final 60 seconds tolerance. Choose based on preference, but maintain absolute consistency. Same movement protocol every morning becomes automatic trigger. After 30 days, you won't need motivation because body expects it. After 90 days, trying not to do it feels wrong. You've created automatic peak performance activation. Next habit optimizes your biology through strategic nutrition. Habit 3, fuel strategically, not emotionally. Optimize biology. Third samurai habit is fueling body strategically for cognitive performance, not emotionally for comfort. Most people eat breakfast based on cravings or convenience. Sugary cereal, pastries, high-carb foods that spike blood sugar, then crash energy within 2 hours. You're not optimizing for peak performance. You're satisfying immediate desire, then suffering consequences all morning. Strategic fueling means eating specifically to optimize sustained energy and mental clarity for next 4 to 6 hours. High protein, moderate healthy fat, minimal refined carbohydrates. This macronutrient combination provides steady glucose release without insulin spike, preventing mid-morning crash. Additionally, protein maximizes satiety, reducing cravings, and optimizes neurotransmitter production, supporting focus and motivation. Why does breakfast composition matter when calories are calories? Because different macronutrients trigger different hormonal and neurological responses. High-carb breakfast spikes insulin, causing energy crash and brain fog by 10 a.m. High-protein, high-fat breakfast maintains stable blood sugar and mental clarity until lunch. Studies show high-protein breakfast improves cognitive performance on demanding tasks compared to high-carb breakfast. You're not just eating to stop hunger, you're eating to optimize brain function. Musashi ate strategically for performance. Simple meals providing sustained energy without digestive burden interfering with training. He understood principle modern people forget. Food is fuel for performance, not entertainment for pleasure. Choose fuel quality determining performance quality. Implementation requires meal preparation and discipline. Prepare strategic breakfast night before or use 5-minute protocol. Example prepared option. Cook 6 eggs and prepare vegetables Sunday evening, portion into containers, reheat 1 each morning. Add avocado for healthy fat. Total, 35 grams protein, 25 grams fat, sustained energy for 6 hours. Example, quick option. Protein shake with 40 grams protein powder, tablespoon almond butter, tablespoon coconut oil, frozen berries, water. Blend 60 seconds, consume while planning day. Avoid all refined carbohydrates, sugary foods, or high-carb meals before noon. Save carbohydrates for evening when energy demands decrease. Eat strategic breakfast after movement habit while reviewing daily plan. Not while checking phone or watching videos, while mentally preparing for day. This pairs nutrition with strategy, maximizing both. Next habit ensures your day has clear direction before execution begins. Habit 4, plan your attack before battle begins. Win mentally first. Fourth samurai habit is planning your specific attack for day before executing anything. Winning battle mentally before fighting physically. Not vague sense of what needs doing, precise plan of what gets done when and how. Musashi never entered duel without detailed strategy. Opponents' patterns identified, techniques selected, contingencies prepared. He won duels during preparation, not during actual fighting. Modern application. Spend 10 minutes after breakfast planning exact execution strategy for your single most important outcome today. Not reviewing endless task list. Identifying one specific outcome that, if achieved, makes today successful regardless of what else happens. Then plan exactly when and how you'll execute it. Which 3-hour block gets protected for this outcome, what completion looks like specifically, what 3 obstacles might interfere, and how you'll handle each. Why does detailed planning create peak performance when jumping straight to action seems faster? Because unplanned action is scattered action producing minimal results. You work all day feeling busy but accomplish nothing important because efforts weren't focused on specific outcome. Planned action is focused action producing maximum results. 10 minutes planning saves 3 hours of wasted effort. Additionally, mental rehearsal during planning activates same neural pathways as actual execution. When you visualize completing important tasks successfully, brain strengthens circuits needed for actual completion. This is why elite athletes visualize performance before competing. Mental practice creates real neurological preparation. You're using same principle. Visualize executing your most important outcome successfully, then actual execution is easier because you've already practiced it mentally. Implementation is structured 10-minute protocol. Sit with notebook after breakfast. Write today's date. Answer 4 planning questions. Question 1. What is my single most important outcome today? Be specific enough you'll know definitively whether you achieved it. Question 2. When exactly will I execute this outcome? Block 3-hour window on calendar right now, typically 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. after morning habits complete. Question 3. What does successful completion look like? Define done so you'll know when to stop. Question 4. What 3 obstacles might prevent completion and how will I handle each? Pre-plan responses to interruptions, distractions, or emergencies. These 4 questions transform vague day into strategically planned day. You know exactly what you're achieving, exactly when, exactly how. That clarity is peak performance foundation. Next habit preserves mental energy for execution. Habit 5. Eliminate decision fatigue through ritual, automate excellence. 5th samurai habit is eliminating all unnecessary decisions through ritualized morning sequence, preserving decision-making energy for important choices during day. Every decision you make depletes finite willpower resource, whether decision is important or trivial. Deciding what to wear, what to eat, when to exercise, what to do first, all drain same mental energy needed for significant decisions later. Average person makes 35,000 decisions daily, most completely unnecessary. Samurai eliminated unnecessary decisions through ritual. Same wake time, same training sequence, same meal, same preparation. No decisions required because ritual was predetermined. Modern application: ritualize entire morning sequence so it runs automatically without conscious decisions. You don't decide when to wake, alarm decides. You don't decide whether to move, protocol decides. You don't decide what to eat, meal plan decides. You don't decide what to work on, planning session decided. Why does ritual create peak performance when flexibility seems preferable? Because decision-making depletes glucose and willpower, making subsequent decisions increasingly poor quality. This is decision fatigue. Early morning decisions are clear and rational. Afternoon decisions are impulsive and emotional. By ritualizing morning, you preserve decision-making capacity for afternoon when it's naturally declining. Additionally, ritual creates automaticity, removing friction between intention and execution. When morning sequence is ritualized, you execute it automatically without needing motivation or discipline. It's just what you do every morning, no different than brushing teeth. That automaticity is how peak performers maintain consistency that average people can't. They're not more motivated, they've just automated excellence through ritual, eliminating need for motivation. Implementation requires designing, then executing same sequence daily. Write out exact morning ritual, including specific times. Example ritual: 5 r.m. alarm sounds, stand immediately. 5:01 a.m. to 5:08 a.m. movement protocol, predetermined exercises. 5:09 a.m. to 5:20 a.m. cold shower. 5:21 a.m. to 5:40 a.m. strategic breakfast while planning day. 5:41 a.m. to 6:10 a.m. weakness training. 6:11 a.m. to 6:20 a.m. silence practice. 6:21 a.m. begin most important work. Write this sequence on paper, post somewhere visible. Execute exact same sequence every morning for 30 days. After 30 days, ritual becomes automatic. You're not deciding what to do next. You're flowing through established sequence. That flow state is peak performance achieved through eliminated decisions. Next habit uses peak morning hours for maximum improvement. Habit 6. Train your weakness first, sharpen dull blade. 6th samurai habit is training your greatest weakness during peak morning hours, instead of avoiding it or delaying until energy is depleted. Most people work on strengths because it feels good and avoid weaknesses because it feels uncomfortable. This maintains strengths while weaknesses remain weak, creating unbalanced capability. Musashi did opposite. Identified weakest technique and drilled it relentlessly during morning training when focus was sharpest. Whatever he was worst at got most attention during best hours. This systematic weakness elimination is what created well-rounded mastery instead of one-dimensional skill. Modern application: identify your greatest professional or personal weakness and dedicate 30 minutes every morning to deliberate practice improving it. Weak at difficult conversations? Practice them. Weak at strategic thinking? Study it. Weak at physical conditioning? Train it. Weak at specific skill? Drill it. Why train weakness during peak hours instead of working on what you're already good at? Because weaknesses limit overall capability more than strengths expand it. Chain is only as strong as weakest link. You can be exceptional at 9 things, but if you're terrible at 10th thing that matters, 10th thing limits your effectiveness. Additionally, weakness training requires maximum cognitive resources available only during peak morning hours. Learning new skill or fixing ingrained bad habit demands focus you don't have after 6 hours of work. Morning you have complete focus, making practice dramatically effective. Musashi understood this strategically. Opponents would attack his weaknesses, so weaknesses had to be eliminated. You face same reality. Life will test your weaknesses, so weaknesses must be systematically strengthened. Implementation requires honest weakness identification and structured practice. Identify one specific weakness limiting your effectiveness. Not vague, I should be better at X. Specific, I avoid difficult conversations causing problems to fester. Then create 30-minute daily practice protocol addressing this weakness. Example for difficult conversations: spend first 10 minutes studying one conversation framework, next 10 minutes writing out script for conversation you need to have, final 10 minutes rehearsing delivery out loud. Execute this protocol every morning for 90 days. After 90 days, your weakness has been systematically transformed into competence through 45 hours of focused practice. Most people invest 0 hours improving weaknesses, then wonder why weaknesses persist. You invest peak morning hours creating well-rounded capability. Final morning habit creates mental clarity before chaos begins. Habit 7. Create silence before chaos, mental preparation. 7th samurai habit is creating complete silence and stillness before engaging chaos of day, preparing mind for whatever challenges appear. Most people transition directly from morning ritual into reactive chaos, checking emails, responding to messages, attending meetings. No buffer between preparation and execution, no mental transition from internal focus to external demands. You go from calm morning to frantic day instantly, getting pulled in 1,000 directions without clear mind. Musashi practiced Zazen meditation every morning specifically to create still point of complete mental clarity before training or dueling. That stillness wasn't relaxation, it was sharpening mental blade before using it. Modern application: 10 minutes of complete silence and stillness after morning habits before engaging any external stimulus. No phone, no email, no talking, no input. Just sitting in silence, allowing mind to settle into clarity. Why does silence create peak performance when jumping straight to work seems more productive? Because unsettled mind is ineffective mind. You start day immediately responding to others' agendas. Your mind never settles into focused state. You're mentally reactive all day, jumping between stimuli without sustained attention on anything important. Silence allows mind to shift from default mode network of scattered thoughts to task positive network of sustained focus. That shift determines whether you spend day distracted or concentrated. Additionally, silence creates space for intuition and insight that constant stimulation drowns out. Best ideas don't come during noise, they emerge during quiet. Those 10 minutes of silence often produce insights worth more than hours of frantic activity. Musashi's strategic breakthroughs came during meditation, not during chaos. Implementation is simple protocol requiring discipline. After weakness training, sit in quiet space. Set timer for 10 minutes, close eyes, focus on breath, counting each exhale from 1 to 10, then repeat. When mind wanders to tasks or concerns, acknowledge without judgment and return to breath. This isn't relaxation practice, this is focus training. You're strengthening attention control that determines peak performance during day. After 10 minutes, open eyes, speak one sentence declaring intention, "Today, I execute with complete focus." Then, and only then, do you check phone or email. That boundary between silent preparation and chaotic execution is what allows you to maintain peak performance under pressure. You've sharpened mental blade, now you use it effectively. Next topic shows how to install all 7 habits systematically. 8. Installing all 7 habits systematically. Implementation. Creating peak performance mornings requires sequential installation, not simultaneous overhaul. Attempting all 7 habits immediately guarantees failure because you're changing too many variables. Install 1 habit at a time until automatic, then add next while maintaining first. Week 1 through 3, install habit 1 waking at exact same time daily. Execute perfectly for 21 days until automatic. Week 4 through 6, add habit 2 immediate movement while maintaining habit 1. Execute both perfectly for 21 days. Week 7 through 9, add habit 3 strategic nutrition while maintaining habits 1 and 2. Execute all 3 perfectly for 21 days. Week 10 through 12, add habit 4 daily planning while maintaining previous 3. Week 13 through 15, add habit 5 ritualized sequence while maintaining all previous habits. Week 16 through 18, add habit 6 weakness training. Week 19 through 21, add habit 7 silence practice. After 21 weeks, you have complete peak performance morning running automatically. This seems slow compared to trying everything immediately, but sequential installation succeeds while simultaneous change fails. Each habit builds on previous, creating compound systems stronger than individual habits. Consistent wake time makes movement easier. Movement makes strategic eating easier. Strategic eating makes planning clearer. Planning makes ritual automatic. Ritual makes weakness training consistent. Weakness training makes silence deeper. Everything compounds when installed sequentially. Additionally, 21 days per habit ensures automaticity before adding next habit. You're not maintaining 7 habits through willpower. You're maintaining 7 automatic behaviors requiring minimal conscious effort. That's sustainable long-term, unlike willpower-based change that collapses when motivation fluctuates. Critical during implementation, track completion daily on wall calendar. Each habit gets its own tracking row. Mark X for each day completed perfectly. Visual chain of X marks creates motivation to maintain streak. Additionally, never break chain during installation phase. If you break chain, restart that habit's 21-day installation. This seems harsh, but it's necessary because consistency is what creates automaticity. One exception becomes pattern of exceptions. Finally, use commitment device. Tell someone your installation schedule and send them weekly photo of tracking calendar. External accountability dramatically increases completion rates. After 21 weeks of sequential installation, you have peak performance morning operating automatically. Next topic ensures you maintain it permanently. 9. Sustaining peak performance permanently. Maintenance sustaining peak performance after installation requires 3 permanent practices. First practice, weekly performance audit every Sunday, reviewing past week and planning next week. You review tracking calendar asking, did I execute all 7 habits all 7 days? Where did failures occur? What caused them? What adjustments prevent repeat failure? Most breakdowns happen during travel, illness, or major life disruption. Solution isn't perfecting conditions, it's creating degraded versions of habits that work under any conditions. Example, normal morning is 90-minute ritual. Travel morning is 30-minute minimum viable ritual hitting essential elements. Maintaining minimum version preserves habit even when circumstances aren't ideal. Zero execution breaks habit requiring reinstallation. Minimum execution maintains habit through disruption. Second practice, quarterly intensity increase preventing plateau. Peak performance maintained at same level slowly degrades as you adapt. Solution is progressively increasing difficulty every 90 days. Wake time shifts 15 minutes earlier. Movement intensity increases. Weakness training tackles harder weakness. Silence extends to 15 or 20 minutes. These incremental increases maintain edge that created peak performance originally. Musashi never maintained same training intensity throughout life. He continuously increased difficulty even into old age, which is why capability never declined. You need same progressive approach. Maintenance isn't staying same, it's gradually getting harder forever. That progressive challenge keeps performance at peak instead of declining to average. Third practice, protecting morning ritual as non-negotiable regardless of circumstances. Most valuable habit you can develop is saying no to anything threatening morning habits. Someone wants early meeting. No, you're unavailable before 8 a.m. Emergency appears at 6 a.m. Unless life-threatening, it waits until 8 a.m. You're traveling. Hotel room becomes training space. Ritual continues. These boundaries seem rigid until you recognize morning ritual creates or destroys value of entire day. Protecting 90 minutes of peak performance, morning multiplies productivity of remaining 14 hours. Sacrificing morning for others' urgencies destroys your day while solving their problems. That's terrible trade. Musashi protected training time absolutely. Nobody interrupted, nothing interfered. That protection is what allowed decades of peak performance. Same protection allows your sustained excellence. Final topic reveals timing principle multiplying effectiveness of all habits. 10. The secret timing principle that multiplies effectiveness. The secret principle multiplying effectiveness of all 7 habits is circadian alignment. Executing specific activities during biological windows when body is optimized for them. Your biology operates on 24-hour circadian rhythm, creating windows of peak performance for different activities throughout day. First 90 minutes after waking, cortisol peaks, naturally creating optimal window for physical activity and stress. That's why habit 2 immediate movement is so effective. It harnesses natural cortisol surge. 2 to 4 hours after waking, core body temperature rises and cognitive function peaks, creating optimal window for demanding mental work. That's why morning hours after ritual are sacred for most important work. Understanding these biological rhythms and aligning habits with them multiplies effectiveness because you're working with biology, not against it. Why does circadian alignment matter when habits seem effective regardless of timing? Because same habit executed during optimal window produces dramatically better results than same habit during suboptimal window. Exercise during cortisol peak creates greater adaptation than exercise during cortisol trough. Cognitive work during temperature peak produces better output than cognitive work during temperature decline. Strategic eating during insulin sensitivity window optimizes metabolism better than same meal during resistant window. You can do everything right, but if timing is wrong, results are fraction of potential. Musashi understood this intuitively through decades of self-experimentation. He trained during dawn because that's when his body and mind performed optimally. He never trained late evening because effectiveness was fraction of morning performance. Modern chronobiology confirms his intuitive approach was biologically optimal. Implementation of timing principle. Execute all 7 habits during first 90 minutes after waking, then immediately transition to most important cognitive work during hours 2 through 5 after waking. This aligns movement with cortisol peak, aligns important work with cognitive peak, protects both from circadian decline that happens afternoon. Additionally, avoid important work or training after 3 p.m. when circadian rhythms decline. Use afternoon for meetings, administrative tasks, and routine work not requiring peak performance. This seems limiting until you realize concentrating all important work during peak biological windows produces more value in 4 focused hours than 8 scattered hours. That concentration of effort during biological peaks is what separates peak performers from average workers, grinding all day, producing minimal results. Time your habits with circadian biology, and effectiveness multiplies automatically. You just received 7 samurai habits, creating peak performance mornings, plus installation protocol, maintenance system, and circadian timing principle, multiplying effectiveness. Habit 1, wake before competition. Habit 2, move before thinking. Habit 3, fuel strategically. Habit 4, plan attack mentally. Habit 5, eliminate decisions through ritual. Habit 6, train weakness first. Habit 7, create silence before chaos. Install sequentially over 21 weeks, 1 habit every 3 weeks. Maintain through weekly audits, quarterly increases, and absolute protection of morning time. Align everything with circadian biology during first 90 minutes after waking. Execute perfectly, and every morning launches you into peak performance state while competition stumbles through chaos. Challenge starts tomorrow. 5 a.m. Execute minimum viable version of all 7 habits. Wake 5 a.m. sharp. Move immediately for 5 minutes. Eat strategic breakfast. Plan your single most important outcome. Ritualize the sequence. Spend 10 minutes on weakness. Sit in silence before checking anything. Post in comments, starting peak performance mornings tomorrow at 5 a.m., declaring commitment. If this showed you peak performance is engineered through precise morning habits not left to chance, subscribe for more samurai protocols, optimizing performance through tested methods. Having chaotic reactive morning means having mediocre day. Having ritualized strategic morning means having peak performance day. Most will keep hitting snooze, staying average. You now have exact 7 habits engineering excellence. Choose execution. See you after 21 weeks when peak performance morning runs automatically. This seems slow compared to trying everything immediately, but sequential installation succeeds while simultaneous change fails. Each habit builds on previous, creating compound system stronger than individual habits. Consistent wake time makes movement easier. Movement makes strategic eating easier. Strategic eating makes planning clearer. Planning makes ritual automatic. Ritual makes weakness training consistent. Weakness training makes silence deeper. Everything compounds when installed sequentially. Additionally, 21 days per habit ensures automaticity before adding next habit. You're not maintaining 7 habits through willpower. You're maintaining 7 automatic behaviors requiring minimal conscious effort. That's sustainable long-term, unlike willpower-based change that collapses when motivation fluctuates. Critical during implementation. Track completion daily on wall calendar. Each habit gets its own tracking row. Mark X for each day completed perfectly. Visual chain of X marks creates motivation to maintain streak. Additionally, never break chain during installation phase. If you break chain, restart that habit's 21-day installation. This seems harsh, but it's necessary because consistency is what creates automaticity. One exception becomes pattern of exceptions. Finally, use commitment device. Tell someone your installation schedule and send them weekly photo of tracking calendar. External accountability dramatically increases completion rates. After 21 weeks of sequential installation, you have peak performance morning operating automatically. Next topic ensures you maintain it permanently.